TV. And today we are talking about money, stress, and expectations. So we all have a lot of expectations and stress around money, and it's something that doesn't feel always that great. So this is going to be a great episode, especially for the holidays that are coming around. Let me introduce you to my team. I have Clarissa West.
Hey, guys.
I have Caramie Baker.
Hello.
I have Angellee Koerner.
Hey, guys.
And me, Terah Rae.
Awesome. We're excited to be here with you guys.
So if we're really talking about money, stress, and expectations, couldn't we just drop that and just love? Like everybody could just be, love is all I need, right?
Yeah, that's worked so well for me.
Right? That's kind of a lot of us get in that mindset of love. I just need love.
Love's all you need until you're dying on the ground without water and food.
Exactly.
Something that doesn't feel always that great. So this is going to be a great episode, especially for the holidays that are coming around. Let me introduce you to my team. I have Clarissa West.
Hey, guys.
I have Caramie Baker.
Hello.
I'm not sure what's going on with our broadcast because I hear ourselves repeating.
I know. I'm like, wait a second. That's me.
All of us are like, hey, who's talking?
Make sure you don't have YouTube up because it's broadcasting us over.
If we're YouTube playing while they have our Plus open, close the YouTube.
I'm not sure what is happening.
Whoever has the internet open, close it down.
So for all of our viewers, you get to see that sometimes just technical stuff happens and you just keep flowing. You go with the flow instead of be like, oh, you know what? It's just you keep going with the flow, and it's all perfect.
Exactly.
Okay, I think it's good now, right?
Yeah. Whoever had it on took it down. So yay, thank you.
How perfect. That's the perfect part to bring in the humor of life. Because
it was probably me. I just barely closed one of my other windows. I think it was me. Leave it to me. Leave it to me. I'm the electronic guru over here.
I'm glad that you said it, electronic guru.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, well, let's go ahead and talk about this. So we had kind of mentioned that just by feeling money and having a good relationship with money and just thinking money thoughts and meditating and going through all of those motions does not bring money into our lives in the long term. Into our lives is action. But today we're also going to be talking about the stress and the expectations that are around money. Caramie, do you want to expand on that?
You know, you cut out, so I'm not sure what I'm expanding on.
Your expectations. Caramie, like into the expectations of money, of what women, specifically women, have around money and the money beliefs. Some of the expectations maybe that you've experienced yourself.
Some of the expectations I've personally gone through have been the expectations of where to spend money and that you need to give in certain areas only around the holidays, that you got to show up for certain things, pay money out here, and what I've really found that has helped me is to ask myself, is this somewhere I want to spend my money? And if it's a no, I get to say no, and it has honestly taken so much stress off my shoulders just to be able to, I want to spend a gift here, and I don't here. And the more I've simplified, the more simple, less overwhelmed, and happier I've noticed my holidays to be.
Mm-hmm. So just in the money conversation that you're sharing right now, it's going back to honoring your authentic yeses and nos.
Absolutely. And I used to be scared as hell to sit there and say, oh, well, no, I don't want to spend money here, but I should because they're family, or, well, they gave me a gift, so I better give them a gift. And when I learned to just accept and receive with appreciation.
I think you should say that again. I think you should say that again because women, how many of you do this? Say that part again. I gave them a gift
I gave them a gift, or they gave me a gift, so I should give them a gift. And really, it just comes down to appreciating them for the gift, being willing to receive, knowing that you never have to give back in the same way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was really, really big for me for a lot of years. And coming from a really big family, the holidays were really stressful because I did that very thing. And even before people gave me anything, I just expected myself to give to every person that was family. And I just totally stressed myself out with all the expectations. And simplifying and really, for me, I give Christmas cards to everybody that I feel called to give to in my family. And other than that, like, I don't overburden myself with having to give gifts and go all extravagant during the holidays, because for me it's about the connections and just giving them a family photo and expressing my love for them and my friendship for them as well. So,
hey, Angel, how do you feel like that, what you're just describing with you and your family and what you've chosen to do now, how has that affected your money life, your relationship with money?
Oh yeah, so how you do one thing, you do all things. And it's definitely been, as I've shifted my money beliefs in general, then that's when I shifted my money beliefs and expectations around the holidays. So it all overflows, and I don't expect myself to spend money and on my kids even. They can put expectations upon me as their mom and say, well, I want this, I need this. Great, and let me support you in earning that. I used to put all these expectations that my kids would put upon me or other people. Hey, will you pitch in for this? Or hey, will you get this? Or will you buy me this, Mom? And I had stories, well, if I'm the good mom and, well, you know, whatever reasons, I would put too much on my shoulders and I didn't want to. So then I was resenting what I was actually giving them and feeling like, hey, you're just being a spoiled brat. You didn't appreciate that. And when it's like, hey, if I don't authentically want to give to my kids even, and I don't feel like that they maybe earned something or they're not in a place to really appreciate the gift, then I don't give it. So really giving from my heart, and because I really want to.
Awesome. So even that is, we place expectations on how others should receive, and it's like anytime we think that they're placing expectations on us, even in the money conversation with me and whether it be a spouse or kids or family or friends or anybody, it's truly what we're allowing to continue. And
exactly.
Anything that we allow continue creates our reality, right? So whatever we bring in is what we're going to have more of. And until really you guys are willing to take that stand that it gets to look a different way. Angela, you brought up something about Christmas cards. That was a huge thing to me. And I stopped doing it because I was doing it out of like expectation and obligation, and it was just like, no, this is something that doesn't get to happen anymore. And if I do choose to do it, awesome. If I don't, awesome. And I think like the whole money conversation specifically for women comes down to what we value in ourselves and what we feel our worth is.
Mm-hmm. Well, and basing, if in my mind, if I gave to these people, friends, family, whoever it was, then they would know that I remembered them and I loved them. And if I didn't give to them, then in my mind, I felt like they won't feel like that I remembered them or cared about them during the holidays. And oh, that would just be horrible, and I would take on how they would feel.
More expectation, and it's just like a never-ending cycle.
Right. I was responsible for how they were going to feel, and it hadn't even happened yet. I was futurizing what would happen when it hadn't even happened yet.
And what is it that you most wanted? Was it not connection?
Well, and for me, it was, I want them to know how much I do love them. And I do want just connection, right? And for them to think that I didn't love them or want to connect with them, it was like, oh shoot, if I don't give them this, then they're going to think I don't think of them or appreciate them or value them as a aunt or uncle or.
So what other ways have you chosen to create that connection with them now?
Yeah, so what I've realized is as I've taken those expectations off, I choose to connect with them at various times throughout the whole year when I feel like, hey, I really, I've been thinking about this person, I really want to connect with them. Then I set up a phone call. I'll, find a way to connect with them and really create the connection. And those times mean more than anything. And then I find myself going, oh, I can't wait to give them a Christmas card. I don't feel expected to give them a Christmas card. There has been some connection established throughout the year. And then when I give them a Christmas card, it's like I don't feel expected to. It's like, oh, I really want to give this person a Christmas card. They connected with me. I connected with them. I really want to. So, really tuning into whether or not you really want to or if you don't. And
I think it's also important to add to the conversation that it's not simply some people's idea of what money is completely different. It's the relationship that they have with money, which is a direct reflection of the relationship that they have with themselves. So all you women out there that are watching, the relationship that you have with money, again, is a direct reflection to the relationship you have with yourself. Whether you're fully abundant in money, awesome. There's key things to look at even there. And whether you feel like you're lacking in that area, there's also some very key points to look at there. And that it's not simply just about giving and not simply just about receiving, but it's about diving into what are my beliefs around money? What have I picked up from the authority figures in my life when I was a child? Because everything that we are running on now has somehow shown up when we were a child. We picked up certain borrowed beliefs and brought them on as we think they are our own, and they're still running in the background. And until we are ready to dive deep into that conversation and into the programs that are running behind in the background, we won't be able to dial in and really figure out the bottom line of what that is for each one of you.
Mm-hmm. Well, and when you dial into what your money beliefs are, and maybe even start jotting some of those down and writing them down, then you can even go, gosh, is this something I've just been doing on autopilot, not even aware that of why I am operating this way around money? So one thing for me is anytime I would go shopping, I would have anxiety. Like, why do I have anxiety about spending money? Like, I've got this money to spend, and yet I felt stressed about it. Like, I'm going to buy the wrong thing. But just play with your money beliefs, and then wonder, gosh, why would I have all of this stress when I have this much money set aside specifically to spend money for gifts or birthdays or whatever? Why am I feeling stressed right now about this? And so those questions, as I have challenged the beliefs that I have about money, as I've asked the questions, that's where I've gotten the breakthroughs and the awarenesses, and been able to let go of them. If you're not aware of it, you can't change it if you're not aware of it.
Yep. So true. Yep.
So one of the other money beliefs that came up big for me for quite a while there was, as a stay-at-home mom, and I'm sure a lot of you ladies can relate to this, not out there working, bringing in your own income, I kind of took on the mindset for a long time, I don't make money, my husband does, not me. And it took really diving into some deep conversations with my husband and being willing to open up and answer those questions for myself, that I was able to see that that value is a trade value for value, and that, yeah, I, in a sense, am selling him on providing this lifestyle for me, or vice versa, and we're both creating this space together where I am bringing in money in a different form of value. Does that make any sense to you?
That makes total sense, Caramie, and I appreciate you bringing up that piece, because I think with a lot of the women that follow us, a lot of women that are in our space right now are experiencing that very same thing, and for them to be able to shift that is huge. And ladies watching this, listen carefully. This is so true for so many of us. And even if you're a double income family and you're still out there working and you're providing that, there's still something in a woman that still has those beliefs of what Caramie is sharing, regardless. It's something to really, really fine-tune and find that squelch button and just fine-tune where that belief's coming from. And what she said, dive into those conversations. It's kind of really fascinating. Everything that everyone's bringing up is directly connected to the relationships we have with our husband, the relationships we have with our kids, the relationships we have with ourselves, the relationships that we have with our family members and extended, like all of it. All of it is about relationships. Yep. So relationship with money is the same thing. Like Angellee said, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything.
Yep. Well, and this point that Caramie's bringing up reminds me of back when I lived in Utah, and in my mind, I had the same scenario that Caramie's talking about, being the stay-at-home mom. I can't go out and bring the money in. In my mind, I couldn't because I had 3 little kids at the time, and it was going to be more expensive to put them in daycare than it was worth going out and working. So I felt kind of stuck and like, gosh, you know, I'm frustrated with this. And I put myself in the role of having to ask for money from my husband. We didn't work together, and I didn't see that I created that, and it was huge stress for me because I felt like, well, this is bullshit. I shouldn't have to ask for money. I can't go out and work, so this is, and yet I don't even think he realized I felt that way. But in my mind, I felt this role as, you know, growing up, the men were the ones who went out and worked, and the women usually didn't too much. And so it was kind of like, well, I guess it's their money. They went out and earned it, so I get to ask, hey, can I have this much money to go get this or that? And I just thought, this is so stupid. He's not my dad. Why am I treating him like my freaking dad? And so then there was resentments that I built up around all these stories I had created in my mind, and he had no clue because I didn't communicate it. I just was like, oh, well, I tried to talk myself through it and go, oh, well, he doesn't really think of me like that, and I'm just over dramatizing things. But you tend to hallucinate. I've come up with that word for myself, and I use it in my relationship now. I will tell my husband, Kyle, I'll be like, okay, I'm over here hallucinating right now that something's really going on, but it's probably not. Can we please have a conversation?
That's awesome. See how perfect. Then you guys create a lot more clarity within each other. What a perfect word to use, because that's what it is.
It is. You hallucinate. You see things that are not even there, totally not even there. So communicate.
So here I am, a single woman, and I still, when I go to like the grocery store or even out shopping for different clothes or different things like that, like I'll grab all my stuff, and then right before I'd go purchase it, I would have this anxiety. And it really stemmed back from childhood beliefs about money, just always being told, no, we can't afford this, or you know, we don't have enough money for that. And so that was always my belief, is that I don't have enough money and we can't afford it. And so there's also what are your childhood beliefs, because that directly affects how you think and see as a, well, I should have money, I should be able to afford this, which ends up being just a big stress. And here's the thing, you guys, we get to control what our memories are. We're the only people who have our specific memories, and so if we actually go back and we're like, okay, yeah, my dad always used to say we can't afford this. What are some things that I can go back in that memory and just reimagine those types of things happening, so that I can reprogram my brain to be like, okay, money's okay, I can spend it. However, I have the same mentality. I have no problem spending money on other people. So just like a mom, you have no problem spending money on your kids, but when it comes to you, you have a really hard time spending money. And I think that is, I don't know if it's necessarily just a woman thing, or if it's just kind of like how we were raised. But it also comes down to, how do you value yourself? Obviously, you value your children and you value those that you're giving gifts to, but what about yourself? You are worth it. You do deserve to get a new outfit or some new shoes or different things like that. And it just makes life fun to know that you are very much worth being spent on and having that money. And again, it just comes down to that belief dictates like how much money you're bringing in. So for you, if you're owning your own business, if you don't value yourself, you don't value what you do, you don't value your just yourself basically, then you're going to be taking actions that will dictate that, which means that you're going to be self-sabotaging every step of the way in bringing in that money. So yeah, you might know what to do, and you might say, oh, okay, well, yeah, I contact people about my business, and I have a website and different things like that. But again, it's getting down to the real actions and like the connections that we have with people. Are you sincerely reaching out to people and asking people for business, which equates to money? It's okay to ask for money, and that goes with our husbands, it goes with yourself, and it goes with our customers and clients as well.
Exactly. I love that you bring that action piece into it, Terah. That's so true. It's what are the actions that we are willing to commit to do on a daily basis to dive into these beliefs and to create a different reality. The reason that we're in, any of us are in the situation we're in, is because of the choices we have made. And it's no different, ladies, with your money situation. Whether you resonate with what Caramie had shared about being a stay-home mom, or what any of us have shared of feeling like we don't bring in the money, that's just something that you've set up to be true. And every time that you talk about that, every time you bring that forth, you create more of it, and you're going to find evidence, because whatever it is you're looking for outside of yourself, you're going to find it, because we always want to be right. So I think that's a very key piece in the money conversation, is the actions that you are willing to do and commit to on a daily basis to create something different.
And if you're not taking those actions, then you get to look at what either the limiting belief is, or what's the fear that's stopping you. Mm-hmm. You might have a list of like money. I mean, there's tons and tons of books about how to create money. But if you're not taking those actions, what is it that's stopping you? My personal fear, and I just recently found this out, is I'm actually afraid of people. And you wouldn't think that talking to me. And it's something that I actually think is really funny. Excuse me. I'm like, I'm afraid of people, but when I really got honest with it, I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, I do have a little bit of one, how do people see me? How do people think about me? And it's not like I'll go to a party and I'll be like, everyone will be like, hey, Terah, and I'll be life of the party. But when it comes down to the real connections and getting involved with people on a more level, so that's something that I get to break through, and I'm glad.
Breaking up just a little bit.
Yeah. There's what is it that am I?
Yeah, you're breaking up, Terah.
Okay. It's my wife.
So one thing
sorry.
The other thing with there's so many angles that we could take the money conversation. And I feel like we could talk on this for hours. And since we do choose to commit to keep this right around 30 minutes, I feel like there's one thing that I want to add, and that is what mindset you're playing in. And is that the either-or mindset when it comes to money? I can either have love, but I can't have money. I can have money, but I can't have love. And I'm just saying it's not necessarily those two things for each one of you, but those are two of the very biggest things. So it's that either or mindset that I can't have this and I can't have this together, so I have to pick. I have to pick and choose. And that's where a lot of people who are in maybe a lack mindset of money, they're like, oh, I have love. Love is enough. And they try to convince themselves. We convince ourselves that money is this, thing outside of ourselves that we don't need to attach to. And I don't think we need to attach to it, but it's something that is, who the hell would not want money? Why would we not want it? Because all of you women out there, when you have the abundance and mindset and the money that supports you in going out and creating a life that you love and serving the people that you want to serve, you're going to only do more powerful and better things than what you're doing right now when you get in the space of money. So get in the conversation of money and stop being so afraid of it, and just revisit it over and over and over and over and over.
Well, and one way I have found that's assisted me in shifting out of money beliefs that have not been serving me is to take that money belief that I've gotten handed down from a parent or wherever I've picked it up and take it and appreciate it for what it is and not try to make that experience wrong or bad or judge it, but to just simply appreciate and take out of it why was this important for me to have? What am I doing differently because of it? Now, just simply looking at it through the eyes of appreciation and helps it to shift, and just helps me to shift into viewing money differently, because that belief was, in a sense, a part of me. It was a part of how I operated. And if I felt like I got to cut that off, that was wrong, that was bad, then that part of me in the past is I'm judging as well. And so instead, viewing it differently and viewing that experience, appreciating that experience, and now I'm ready to move on, has really served as well.
That's a huge thing. I appreciate you bringing that up as well. And there's so many different tools, again, that we could share with you guys on this that we have gone through and done ourselves. And we've chosen to give you guys, you women, specifically women, a few questions that we've dove in. And several years ago, I remember one of my mentors giving this to me, and I dove in and answered these questions truthfully. And if I ever feel some kind of stuck mentality or stuck energy around it, then it's something that I get to keep wondering into and asking those wonderment questions, just like what Angellee was sharing, of not proving it wrong and not thinking it's all so bad, but what it is that we're learning from this. For any of you that are taking notes, I highly recommend that you write these next questions down and give yourself some time to really dive in and answer them. If you get to do it more than once, then do. There's 7 questions. Number 1 is, I'm going to read these. Money is important because. Money is important because. Number 2, people who have lots of money should. People who have lots of money should. Number 3, money is. Money is. Number 4, I want lots of money because. I want lots of money because. Number 5, when others have money and I don't, I think. You guys fill in the blanks. When others have lots of money and I don't, I think. Number 6, money is. Number 6, money is. Number 7, when others have money and I don't, I think. Number 7, when others have money and I don't, I think.
Those are some amazing.
You'll notice that there may be some repetitive questions in there, and go with it. Just go with it. Trust the process. Move through it. Notice what you notice. Notice your body, your energy, what's coming up. Just when I read it, I felt like a swell. For me, I felt a swelling in my heart. It wasn't like that at first. I remember when I very first did this several years ago, I had a lot of contracted energy, and my throat would start to close up. But at the same time, it's like my heart and my spirit, my body want to expand, only I was holding on to certain beliefs, and it was creating a restrictive flow, and I was closing off any of my creative flow, which is the flow of money.
Yeah. I've done that with another coach as well, and it really helps to identify where your fears are at and what your actual beliefs are. And I was actually surprised that I felt like if you had money, it means that you're snobby and that you have to work all the time. And it was just really interesting with those questions to kind of like identify, because you want to fill those in extremely quick. You don't want to just think about it. You want to be like, I feel money is, and then you fill in the blank really, really fast.
Absolutely. So, keep writing. Just like Terah said, you keep writing. Don't allow your pen to come up off the paper, and don't start analyzing it. I think money is.
And if you can't think of anything, then start writing with your left hand.
There you go.
It works, I promise. You'll start to write some things you're going, holy crap, I didn't realize I thought that about money, but that is exactly how I feel.
And it's really quite fascinating. You guys, it's fascinating to get into this conversation and be like, holy shit, that's what I'm feeling? And then it's like, okay, let's breathe through that. And then you get to create support. Like, how is it that you guys get to support yourself to continue on this journey to create success, to generate all of the different things that you're wanting into a reality? You get to have support, and that's what we here at the Roar TV and the UpRoarious Life do for you women. We are your support team.
Speaking of our support team, we have an event coming up in January. It's 4 days, and we're going to be breaking through the fears, the limiting beliefs, and we have some really fun ways to do that. And you get all 4 of us.
Because we've all talked about this, and we're like, oh, this is going to be so epic.
It will be so
the piece on adventure.
Yes, adventuresome, very much so. But I think we've hit our 30 minutes. So any last thoughts?
Yeah, I just want to put it out there that if you're looking to expand and level up in your life, and you're wanting to really step into what you're passionate about and create it in a time frame that doesn't take 20 years on your own, I highly recommend creating support with somebody, whoever that is that resonates with you. It might be with us. And the 4-day event that we're offering is going to be.
I think we might have lost Angellee.
So I'm going to say ditto to what she said, and to all of our viewers, whenever it is that you choose to watch this, thank you. We appreciate you taking time out of your day to further expand and grow into the very best next version of you in all the numerous ways that you can.
And I also think she might have been going on to expand about how after the event, we have continued support from there. It's not just have the event and leave you tossy in the wind.
Yeah, continued masterminds, lots of different options that we can go over with you. If that's something that you are ready to dive into, reach out to one of the 4 of us. We look forward to having that conversation.
Absolutely. All right. You guys have a great day. Ciao.
Well.